who else gets excited when the courier turns up with some nice new car parts for you? What I'm going to do is a bit of an unboxing of the new Dobinson MRR remote resi shocks that I'm going to fit in the FJ. I'm actually just going to do the rears at this stage, see how that goes, and maybe later do the fronts as well. Whew. Man, way heavy duty. So this is the current setup with the icons, which have, to be honest, served me very well. However, I've just found with towing that, it gets a little bit bouncy, and I'd like to soften up the ride a little bit on the rear. Got the K-On shin protectors there for the lower bolt. So I'll take all that off and I'll do a back-to-back comparison of the shocks on the ground. First one is the size of that lower bush. It's just massive on the Dobinson. Obviously the shaft's a lot thicker between the two. And the other one I noticed is the actual shank of that shaft is a lot longer. It was something that I actually struggled with before with the icons. With the bushes and everything, it seemed very, very tight. So hopefully this fixes all of that. So after pulling the shocks out and had a bit of a look at the icons, or I suppose what's left of them, I think I've discovered the problem to why it's riding fairly rough, or very rough I should say. Sorry about that, got a hoons and crazy dogs. Welcome to my world. So as I was saying, I'll just show you what's up with particularly one of the shocks and what I think the main problem was. The disappointing part is that these shocks were, probably rebuilt maybe 25,000 Ks ago. Prior to that, they'd done, maybe about 60,000 faultlessly, and then after the rebuild, they just didn't seem to last. So, yeah, I'll just give you a bit of a demo on what the shocks are doing now. So this is the right-hand shock. Looks pretty normal. Comes back. This is the other one. Dead. So to say that turned into an epic is an understatement, and I'll just show you what's gone on here. The old aftermarket parts don't tend to mix with aftermarket parts, one being my aftermarket fuel tank or long range fuel tank, and then you chuck in a remote res and some brackets that aren't correct, and it ends up taking all day that should be a 3-hour job has turned into like a 10-hour job. So I want to show you what went on. All looks all nice and good. That bracket, it had nut certs in it, or nuts I suppose that are welded on the back, and conveniently they were around the wrong way, so I had to grind all those nuts off and then put in my own nylocks. Looks the part, but yeah, had to highly modify this one. Had to re-drill holes and tap things and make sure it cleared everything. It was hitting that little bracket there. Initially just had to slide it up. So yeah, I have to have a bit of a chat to Dobinson and just make sure that the brackets they supply are correct. I might even pop in there and just get them to check my fitment and make sure that it's all good. Thought I'd show you the adjusters, both high and low speed compression. As you can see, the little one there's for the low speed, and the big one's for the high speed. Basically, high speed's for your sharp bumps, and the low speed's for your pitch and roll. So you're going down the road and you're starting to sway around a little bit, you would increase your low speed compression and maybe increase a little bit of the high speed. I've sort of got it set in between the two. So as you can see, it's nice and easy to turn like that. So there you go. As you can see, none of those hoses touch the shock itself. You see the back side of how it's bolted to the chassis. Give you a look at the front side as well. There's those shin guards. The rebound's actually in behind here. What I'll have to do is drill a hole through the shin guard there just to access that adjuster, which is just a flat tip screwdriver. That's the reverse side of the bracket on the driver's side. As you can see, I've had to re-drill those holes to straighten that bracket up. You can see the back side of my Nylox there. Also, they've got these stupid, I suppose you call them nut on a stick. And basically what you do is you stick that in that hole. It's got a couple of nuts welded to it, and you've got to stick it down there to line up with the holes. It takes hours. It's an absolute pain. Apparently the Prado 150s have got the nuts into the chassis already, so you don't have to do it on a Prado 150, but obviously the FJs don't have that, so that was one of the things that took absolutely ages to do. Thought I'd also give you a bit of a look at the fitting guide or instructions, or lack thereof. Basically all you've got is just descriptions, and this is the instructions. So if you've got a Land Cruiser, you get a photo. Same deal with Nissan Patrol, you get one photo. So any vehicle, there's no step-by-step, the brackets, there's no part list number. There's the FJ. That's all I got pretty much. So from a DIY point of view, the instructions are pretty dismal. Maybe they don't want people to DIY it, want their authorised installers to do it, but they certainly sell to the public. So maybe that's a bit of a hint for Dobinson to do a decent set of instructions for everyone. So that's about it for that little video. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe and share if you got something out of the video, of course. My overall impression of the Dobinsons is, big upgrade from the Icons. I suppose the Icons weren't remote resis, they're just a single stage shock, but they served me well, did the job they needed to do, and I guess it's time for an upgrade. So yeah, I'm happy with the way they perform. They're very, very nice on the road, nice and supple and compliant. So would I recommend them? Yeah, I would. What I'm going to do now is maybe investigate the fronts. I'm not sure whether to keep the Icons in the front or maybe do an upgrade to Dobinson in the front as well, but I think I'd like to see a set fitted maybe to a Prado 150 or an FJ. So if someone out there in Melbourne has got an FJ Cruiser with the Dobinson remote resis on there, find me a message. Well, I think what I'll do next time is I've got a bit of an oil change hack for the FJ Cruisers. When you do the oil filter, it makes a horrible mess when you drain the filter itself. So I've got a little bit of a hack for you on that one. So that'll probably be coming up in the next week or so. So keep your eyes peeled and see you soon. Thanks guys.